This prequel to Predator has a higher score than the original on Rotten Tomatoes? No way. The original Predator actually has a slightly higher audience score than this one, but I don't take audience scores seriously. And I only take critic scores a little seriously. Prey has already been reviewed by every major YouTube channel. When I got back from vacation, there must have been at least a dozen reviews on my feed. Does the internet need another review of this movie? Probably not. Am I going to provide my opinion regardless? Absolutely. That being said, I thought Prey was really good. It's probably the most grounded approach to the franchise so far, a franchise known for being kind of over the top and crazy. But for me, it's hard to top the big, beefy man-muscle camaraderie, Reagan-era Central American intervisionism turned survival horror where Arnold is the final girl energy of the original Predator movie. Predator and Alien were the two big sci-fi slasher franchises when I was growing up. Just look at all of my toys. By the time the Alien vs. Predator movies came out, I had moved on, so I've never seen them. I have seen the other two Predator films because I circled back around again as I got older. These films are called Predators and The Predator. Such a creatively titled franchise. 2010's Predators plays out kind of like a game of Fortnite, where a bunch of humans and predators are dropped into a battle zone. It's actually a pretty fun, though formulaic movie, if your expectations aren't too high. The casting is good. Adrian Brody, Lawrence Fishburne, Mahershala Ali, Danny Trejo, Walton Goggins, Topher Grace. Sure, they're all characters with one basic personality trait, but it's a slasher movie. The cast is mostly there for the body count. 2018's The Predator is a film so awful that I'm surprised it didn't kill the entire franchise. Shane Black and company might have had fun making the movie, but they must have thought they were making a comedy.
What?
How you doing?
You just said eat your pussy.
Yet, it's one that I don't find very funny, except for when it's trying to be serious. A hot scientist chick tracks down the Predator, who is trying to kidnap the autistic son of a military badass guy because climate change and the chosen one. There's no weight to anything. The characters are cardboard cutouts who sacrifice themselves in ways that are flat out humorous. It's a pretty bad movie, but kind of a fun watch, until the sounds of gunfire, explosions, and a generic Hollywood musical score make me feel numb. Prey takes us back to the formula of the classic 1987 film, and if you've seen that movie, then you already know what's coming. It's a slow burn horror film with elements of sci-fi and action. The original lures you in with the promise of 80s machismo action schlock.
Yeah. Stick around.
But after the first act turns into slow burn horror, a game of wits between man and alien. Prey is the most serious Predator film since the original. The protagonist is outmatched by the Predator, though both of their weapons are downgraded due to the story taking place in the 18th century. It's possibly even a little more straight-faced than the original, given that its first act sets up the main character's obstacles and relationship within the tribe. In Predator 87, Arnold was more of a clean slate protagonist, an audience surrogate. There aren't a bunch of cheesy one-liners and filthy dialogue here, both of which have become staples of the franchise.
You know, I'd like a little pussy. She said, me too. Mine's as big as a house.
Lieutenant, pluck is my specialty.
Because we fuck cock? That's it, because we fuck cocks.
There is a line of dialogue where the hero tells someone, "Don't get your bowstring wet." I suppose that's a one-liner, but the dialogue is nothing like Walton Goggins in Predators.
Time to go rape me some fine bitches. Know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Prey is definitely better than The Predator, and probably better than Predators and Predator 2, which both got a little weird and wacky.
You can't see the eyes of the demon until him come calling.
And who could forget Gary Busey as the over-the-top government agent villain? When these movies become about the government studying the predators, I think they start to lose the core survival horror appeal. The basic idea of the predator is, what if there were an alien that hunted humans the way we hunt animals? When Predator 2 moved the location into a city, it lost a few of the themes about hunting that are so prevalent in this new entry. The technology of the alien is so advanced that in the original, Arnold's muscles are made insignificant, and he has to use his mind and his resourcefulness to best the creature. It was never about his raw strength or weaponry. Remember the over-the-top scene where they all unload excessively without even damaging the creature? The point of the scene was that it was going to be a battle of the minds, guerrilla warfare, stealth gameplay. In the film Prey, the Comanche protagonist Naru, played by Amber Midthunder, approaches the creature in a similar way. She has to examine its behavior and evade the predator by running and hiding until she can gain the element of surprise. She trades her medical knowledge to a wounded enemy for a stronger weapon as she methodically hunts the creature using her skills. Prey is an hour and a half long, and a whole hour of the movie is dedicated to Naru tracking down the predator. It's a gory, brutal film with multiple beheadings, arrows going into eyeballs, a bear being drained of all its blood, a wolf's spine being ripped out. It seems that Hulu is going to be the place for Disney to host its more adult-oriented content. Prey is shot on location in Canada, which looks great, but the CG of the ship and some of the animals like the bear looks a little unnatural. The violence is often obscured through camera work and editing to make it all a little more convincing though. There's nothing quite as extreme going on in this one as Adrian Brody shirtless smacking a predator across the head with a small axe over and over again as pyrotechnics burst around them. Naru does fight with an axe on a rope like she's playing God of War 2018. The physics don't make any sense, but I'm not going to be Neil deGrasse Tyson and ruin it for everyone. Naru and her relationship within the tribe is key to the story, as defeating the creature is part of her journey into a leadership role. The acting in the film is good, especially the lead sister and brother. It's not rapid-fire foul humor, the dialogue is more subdued. There's enough dialogue given to set up the characters without ever over-explaining the story. It's essentially about a young hunter trying to prove herself and survive. There's obviously the male warrior that looks down on her for being female, and predictably, pretty much everyone else gets slaughtered. There's a scene where Naru has conflict with the men in the tribe, and they really don't pull their punches. Literally, she gets punched right in the face. While Naru faces judgment in the community, her brother, played by Dakota Beavers, is a strong warrior and leader who is compassionate but firm with his sister. Naru also has her lovable animal companion Sari, who assists her throughout the film as well. Fellow Comanches sacrifice themselves so that Naru can survive, and the film is about her working with and against others to overcome her obstacles. It's not about her being some OP anime superhero. Sure, there are a few fight scenes that bend logic, but come on, it's a sci-fi fantasy more than a period piece. Yes, this film is technically a period piece, but it doesn't function well as one because the indigenous people all speak modern English. Somewhere near the halfway mark of the film, Naru is captured by French trappers who are portrayed as villainous because they have been massacring buffaloes only for the hides. The trappers all speak French. I do understand why all of the main characters speak kind of modern-sounding English. This is a Predator film at the end of the day, a horror, sci-fi, action thriller for mass consumption, not an art house period piece striving for verisimilitude. There is also a Comanche dub, but not a version that's filmed in Comanche, and I find dubs distracting. Like, if I can tell that somebody's voice is being dubbed over, it just really takes me out of it, you know? In Predator lore, a predator is hunting for sport, and will only go after an enemy deemed to be a threat, because if there is no challenge, then there's no sport to it. Naru discovers this and uses it to her advantage, similar to the way that Arnold disguises himself through camouflage in the original. A predator is looking to collect a trophy from the prey that it has hunted, and in the same way, Naru brings back the predator's head to her tribe to display its defeat, but also to convince them of the impending danger. In 2018's The Predator, it was explained that the spinal fluid was used to genetically modify the predators, and that the Predators needed an autistic child because he was the next step in evolution. That movie really went crazy with the lore. In a callback to Predator 87, Prey has that ending where she's lying in wait going, "Come on! Come on! Do it! Do it!"
Come on, kill me! I'm here! Come on! Do it now! Kill me!
There's also the line about, "If it bleeds, we can kill it." They said the thing, we can all go home satisfied. Oh, this is on streaming, I guess I'm already there. The pistol at the end is the same pistol Danny Glover is given in the spaceship at the end of Predator 2. It's a nice little connection with the lore there. Just a fun Easter egg, but you don't have to watch any other Predator movies to enjoy this one. Prey was released directly to Hulu, and the fact that it was good seemed to be a complete surprise to pretty much everyone. A direct-to-streaming horror franchise entry has a lot of potential to be trash. Prey cost close to $90 million, the same as the Batgirl movie, which I only want to see now that it's not coming out. Director Dan Trachtenberg previously directed 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I actually enjoyed, and he also directed the first episode of The Boys and the playtest episode of Black Mirror, which was an episode based on a survival horror game. He was a proper choice for this movie, given his past work with horror and gore. I'm sitting right between a 7 and an 8, but I'm feeling generous today, so I'm gonna go ahead and give Prey an 8. Even though some of the CG looked imperfect, you could tell it was a straight-to-streaming project, but I reserve the right to give high scores to films with questionable effects. Prey isn't the most original film, but it is shot and edited really well. The musical score is on point without just repeating the Predator theme ad nauseum the way Predator 2018 did. The pacing was good, it wasn't too long. It told a simple story with an unintrusive feminist theme, and the action built gradually into a strong finish. Prey gets back to the roots of the original without relying too much on callbacks, and I'm pretty satisfied. I don't think we need a sequel, but we'll probably get a sequel, as teased in the end credits, and then another sequel, and then a cinematic universe where the Predator fights Scooby-Doo, and Chinese robots turn into bling wads.